और कैसे स्पीड वर्क पे और फोकस करूँ। तो आई थिंक अगर आप अपना डिसिप्लिन रह के अगर आप करेंगे कि लाइक से फॉर एग्जांपल मुझे मंडे ये करना है, इंडियन अभी जो टीम है लाइक कुछ ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं है। मतलब अभी हम लोग थोड़ा ज़्यादा एंजॉय करते हैं क्योंकि मतलब अभी छोटे ही प्लेयर्स हैं, सारे काफ़ी यंग मीन्स यंग टीम है, तो थोड़ा सा ऐसे मस्ती मजाक भी चलता रहता है ड्रेसिंग रूम में। तो हम वो चीज़ को एंजॉय करते हैं और एक अच्छा मतलब एटमॉस्फेयर बनाते हैं कि जिसका जो कंफर्ट जोन है उसमें अगर रहेंगे तो ज़्यादा अच्छा है। और मतलब ऐसे मस्ती फन करते हैं हम लोग, क्योंकि बिफोर द सेमीफाइनल हम लोग इंजॉय कर रहे थे। ऐसा नहीं था कि हम लोग प्रेशर ले रहे हो या समथिंग कुछ कि हमारे कंफर्ट जोन के बाहर है जो हम नहीं कर सकते हैं, ऐसा हमने बिल्कुल भी नहीं सोचा था। एज अ टीम हम लोग बहुत पॉजिटिव थे और बस यही था अगर ये मैच जीत गए दैट मीन्स कि हम लोग ट्रॉफी के क्लोज जा रहे हैं। तो मीन्स ये माइंडसेट था और हम लोग एंजॉय करते हैं। ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग बहुत सीरियस रहते हैं, टीम में डांस करते रहते हैं थोड़े लोग और मतलब स्पीकर पे म्यूजिक चलता रहता है, अपना गुनगुनाते रहते हैं। तो मतलब फन करते रहते हैं क्योंकि वो भी उतना इम्पोर्टेंट है। आप एंजॉय करेंगे तो आप डेफिनेटली आगे जाएंगे आपके कंफर्ट जोन पे।
Thank you for sharing that. And I think काफी important messages उसमें की to stay positive, don't forget to have fun, and to take.
Excuse me, उसको उठाओ ना. Yeah. Sir. Whatever you go. No. Dipti ma'am center. Dipti ma'am. Dipti ma'am इधर लास्ट में. हाँ सेंटर. आप सामने बिल्कुल सामने आपके. Yeah. Shall we start the interview, please?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
अरे दादा हिला दिया. कॉटन सबका है. मैं वेट. मैम इधर.
her, and then she continues doing that. It's not natural. So what is natural is expected of men. What is unnatural is subjected to women as a societal norm. I said, this is interesting. It's not that every mother-in-law is bad and every daughter-in-law is bad. It's unnaturally expected to immediately adjust. And so I decided, like, this is an interesting concept, and that's how Kyonki happened. I mean, there was no research, but I realized that once you catch a primary emotion, you catch a home.
Wonderful and powerful, and I think sometimes research fails you because no amount of research would have gotten people to this deep emotional
My
insight.
personal belief, and all my friends in media will hate me for this, including Gaurav right here, is that I believe research is usually of what happened. It can never tell you what will happen.
So I think I'm sure at that time Kyunki was super successful, but nobody thought Kyunki 2 will come back and become equally successful. Tell us a bit more, about the new season and what has remained the same maybe and what has really changed.
I think I try to put in what I would say is a new twist to a very integral primary story and character. So we decided this time that, very first episode, I still remember, I was in New York with my son, and I was like, I'm standing here, I've evolved, why is Tulsi going to be, of course she will go, she'll do her protein shakes now, instead of just making chai in the kitchen, but she will be stuck to what she calls her domain. There's no problem in that. There has to be some evolution to the character. So I called up my writer and I remember telling him, I said, I want Tulsi to weigh herself. They're like, what? I said, yeah, her insecurities are as much a part of the show as her wins, as her domain. I said, make her stand on a scale and get shocked at the weight and say, this scale is not working. I do that very often. And that's how we decided that this is how we're going to deal with this character. Her blouses won't fit her. Her daughter will troll her, thinking it's concern without realizing. We do it so often with our mothers. We say, oh, it's not looking nice on you, please go and change. Without realizing you're somewhere feeding that insecurity of the other person. And niceties in families usually are the least important thing, so, and we cross boundaries so often. So I was like, just make this a part of this new, and it was lapped up. So it worked. Thank God. Thank God.
Amazing. We talked a lot about the broadcast universe, and TV soaps, of course, have been very focused on female audiences. But when the digital shift started, in the digital world, first with internet penetration and then many other metrics were actually more favoring male watch time.
Fair we've been to the men on television, that unfair men have been to women on the digital medium. So we haven't really catered to female-centric audiences, female audiences on digital, like we didn't cater to men on television. This is because of the basic divide between subscription-led programming and advertising-led programming. Advertising is more favorable to women, subscription is more favorable to men. But with connected TV, finally digital will find a space for lovely urban mass, beautiful stories for women. And they will start discussing women in different spheres of society, working women, midlife crisis, stories that have not found a voice till now, urban soft romances, very, we call them now the Korean dramas, but I call them the dramas that were Indian 10 years ago. Finally, we will have those kind of shows, movies, or on out there in the market, because connected TV is going to bring advertiser-led programming for the urban mass woman again. For the first time, actually.
Personally, I can't wait to see that new era unfold in front.
My early childhood actually had very little to do with leadership. My early childhood was, again, I was like finding my way around life. I had a privileged background. My parents were well-to-do. My father was an actor. But I had my own set of insecurities I dealt with as a child, which I slowly came through time. But I think what I learned about leadership, I always have seen my mother have a voice. And I felt that gave me the strength that today if I go out to the world, I don't feel that I'm supposed to keep quiet. Secondly, in my early journey, of course, I was very aggressive at work, and aggression and ambition in women is considered a bad thing. And because it's considered a bad thing, being a leader itself becomes a bit of a problem. You're supposed to make everyone happy. Psychologically, you're told that that's how women should behave. They should see the happiness of everyone. I mean, democracy is great, but not at jobs where you need to decide for everyone and sometimes be the bad person at the job, And that is the leadership you need to inculcate inside you, that you need to take a decision which is good for everyone. At the same time, it is not to get not to win a popularity vote with everyone. And I think my mom taught me how to do that, where your own self-worth doesn't come from validation from others. And that's where the true leader learns to stand up on its own, stand up on her own, and make her own decisions.
I am just blown away with that story, because I think if I ask this audience, just a show of hands, how many people are inspired, and have learned a major lesson from their mothers? Okay. I think it just speaks volumes. I think we all owe it to the mother in the house, to shaping and becoming who we are, whether we are leaders in our organizations or otherwise. So amazing story there, Ekta. And clearly, like you said, from having a voice, often your brand of leadership is talked about being fearless. So how would how would you talk about that when you think of applying risk taking and fearlessness into this industry, which is often been associated with your brand of storytelling? And then shift gears a little bit and maybe share there's a reality that the M&E industry is still a very male dominated one. And coming into that industry with this fearlessness and strong, bold voice, what were some of the advantages, disadvantages, and how did you navigate?
So there is no other way to be in this industry. If you start going with data and what happened before and this is how it's done, please follow it. I did that very young, and I remember I made one of the biggest flops ever. That's when I realized you can't do this often. You need to make a decision and go ahead and do what you need to do, and then face the consequences. You can't say the consequences are not yours. But when I did that, I realized that we are now entering a domain wherein we all know it. There is the big boys club. It exists. There's backslapping. There are conversations that happen in dining tables that you're never a part of. You're going to be in the squash game, you're not there. In the golf clubs, you're not there because you only meet people, and there you have those disadvantages. So you realize that you need to make your own circle of very successful, strong women and be inclusive to the men. And that's what I think I did, and I try to do that all the time. I think we need more women in leadership roles, like you, Gunjan. And I think that's where I realized in a male-dominated world, you need to come with your own. There's no seat on the table. You come with your own chair, like I discussed with most of my female friends. We're usually carrying our own chairs and coming. Okay, I know there's no seat on the table, but can I just put my chair in here? Or you set up your own table.
I love setting up the table. I'm sorry, we're short on time, so we will be able to take only limited questions from the audience. Yeah, go for it.
That will be our first and last question.
Hello. Yeah, this is Gopal Ram, producer director from Chennai. I got some subjects to be made in Hindi from South. Is it possible to meet you and discuss some subjects with you?
I love the place you chose to pitch. You can pitch anywhere, anytime.
Yeah.
I'm with you, my friend.
Yeah.
But I just must tell you that there's a process in Balaji and there's a development team that will hear your pitch and then bring it to me. Unfortunately, we are stuck with processes, but we'll meet to post that once it's through.
Yeah. I worked with your daddy also.
That's great. Me and my daddy are pretty much working a lot.
It's a great attempt at creating your table. So clearly the message has.
I love it.
Thank
Pitch
you.
anywhere is my thing. I may not accept the pitch anywhere, but pitch anywhere.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you, Ekta. It's been really wonderful having you here.
Thank you. May I invite on stage Mr. Gaurav Banerjee, Chair CII, National Council, M&E.
Ekta just said that I'll hate her. She knows very well. So I'm just letting the rest of you in on the secret that I can never hate her. In fact, I was sitting there and feeling a little bit jealous that what is Ekta Kapoor, the queen of TV, doing with my friend from YouTube. So Ekta, we'll always have your love, and we'll most importantly always have your back. So keep making those tables, keep spinning those dreams. We love you.
And ladies and gentlemen, let's once again put our hands together to those powerful women on the stage. Can we have a group photograph, please? And ladies and gentlemen, I will request everyone to kindly stay back with us as we move into the next Power Talk, which is on Prime Video and the next frontier of India's entertainment revolution. So we now arrive at a Power Talk that takes us behind the scenes of India's dreaming revolution, where original storytelling meets the strategic vision.
Writers? Are people getting compensated for it? There are so many questions to AI. So today, I think we can probably discuss about all of that. And specifically to businesses, I think as long as we are mindful, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to produce really, really great, immersive, and beautiful content, which can be consumed by audiences at large. Thank you.
Sudhir, your take, please.
I'm petrified. It's scary. It's also scary because it's about the amount of water you require to cool down these machines that are buried God knows where, But besides that, I think I've used AI, and I think it's a great assistant. It's a great research tool. In the future, maybe it will help me make a film which at the moment only Sanjay Leela Bhansali is allowed to make. So, it will just kind of, because there is a managerial aspect to filmmaking.
Yes.
There's a it's like an army operation. So all that AI is fantastic at. It totally demolishes this fake entity in cinema that has been created called first assistant, will do nothing. So there are many people who are seriously out of jobs, and good riddance to them. But so you can reduce your costs a lot. You can keep reduce the unit because it's gone out of proportion.
Sure.
You can pre-look at a lot of things. So even in terms of the idea of your film, of what you want, because let's say I'm making a film on Gandhi at the moment, which is going to be very expensive if I was doing it conventionally. But now I can, in a sense, look at, and with a DOP, look at the entire film in a kind of a sketch form, in terms of a kind of a storyboard, which is in a sense moving. I can take some actors, create some voices. So you have a kind of a scratch film, in a sense, like the fifth draft of the script can now be a scratch film. Right.
Absolutely.
So then me and the DOP and the sound guy and everybody else can sit together, and then the basics are over, and now you can fly. And our level of discussions can evolve.
Excellent.
So it can be a much more imaginative discussion, and the technicalities are taken care of, So I think that all that is great, But if you allow AI to govern you, if you become lazy, God help you. It will take over. And then if you stop using your mind, you have to control it. You have to know what you want. Because if you tell it, give me something approximately this, all it delivers is crap. And also maybe plagiarism.
Correct.
Right. So you have to be very mindful of other works. Right. But you can tell it, now I'm making a film like this, give me references of films like, what should I see? Right. You can do many things if you're mindful.
Correct.
If you're, but it's very scary if you, and I hope, people are not fantasizing sitting inside big companies that I don't need writers. I don't need that, because that's very scary, and you need writers. AI in writing can be a tool for writers and not for MBA graduates.
Thanks. Gitanjali, over to you. You're building tools that can compress weeks, years of work into minutes. So how do you ensure that this acceleration doesn't flatten the originality? And how will you ensure, to what Sudhir just mentioned, that we're not going to trap creators inside algorithms and lose the aesthetic? So maybe you can talk about that and what it means to you.
My journey has been from pixels to prompts. So I have seen it all, when we moved from offline to online to digital, you have to use it. It's like, पहले बोलते थे ना, you had this thing of Javed and Salim ka jodi. So this is your new companion. You can write with it. It is your best assistant. So what we have built in GenVR right now, GenVR.ai, is a platform from India where we have integrated more than 350 tools together in a one UI UX platform where you can start your image, video, audio, lip syncing, upscaling, even agentic authorization, everything in just one platform.
It's private.
So it's available to everyone.
It's private.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we have, we are official partners with a lot of model makers and like Higgsfield and ByteDance and NanoBanana and all of them. We've also created agents which facilitate, creative artists to create whatever they want in imagination. But I am with Sudhir ji when they say that you cannot stop using your mind. It's a creative tool. You have to drive the vehicle. You have to drive the tool. And we are empowering artists. We are not removing artists. These are not tools to remove the artist. Like every time a technology leap has happened, people who have adopted the technology have grown. We are also ensuring the same thing. We are actually offering everything in one platform in India so that creators can actually, whatever they're dreaming, what they could not create earlier, can create now. I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman, Mr. Khushwant, he's an ex-IAS. He's written a book called Maharaja in Denim. And I just happened to meet him. He sold the rights of that film thrice, to different large production houses in Mumbai. And it could not see the light because the production was extremely expensive, So it was out of budget, and like said that he could not, that film never saw the light. Today, for the last 2 years, he's been working on that film through AI, and it will be released next year. And he's the happiest person. It's completely an AI film. These tools are actually empowering people, and creativity is not, per se with few people or the studio model. It is now democratizing it, personalizing it. You have personalization, localization, and empowering artists. That's what our platform is also doing.
Super. Wonderful. So it's like in the old days when we went for a picnic, we had a basket, we put everything that we wanted in it, and then we went off to the beach. So what you're doing is exactly that for filmmakers. I'll come to Ram. Ram, I can't wait to ask you this question, but I do want your take, as with everyone, on AI. But the question that I really had at the tip of my tongue to ask you is that if tomorrow an AI-generated film wins a national award, who should go on stage to receive it? So maybe you can answer that, but also in the process, tell us your take on AI, because you've done this a little piece. I'm calling it little because of its length, not because of its awesomeness. So please.
Yeah. Given that my name is Ram, I think I can speak about the Lakshman Rekha of AI. Now I know why I'm on this panel. We did a short 5-minute film 6 months ago on virtual reality, because I feel virtual reality is suffering from shelving, and now nobody talks about VR. And so we've done it on AI, and it's on the Bhagavad Gita. So from Ram, I want to just speak for 2 minutes about Krishna. And the thing that I was thinking is, what if on the Kurukshetra battlefield, if Krishna is tapped on his shoulder and he turns around and there is an AI sentient being over there who says, can I speak to you about consciousness? Because we are getting there soon. And today, I think if you're not using AI, or if you look down on AI, they now call you a speciesist. You're not a racist, you're a speciesist. So we are all currently hopefully not species who are looking at a different species in a way in which it's demeaning. So we're here to actually, the root word of technology comes from a Greek word called Techne, and Techne means art. And so everything that we have in cinema has liberated us because of technology, whether it was sound or color or cinema verite with fast lenses. And I think currently AI is something that's going to liberate us. So we're here to embrace that. Who would go up to receive the national award? That sentient being at some point, I suppose, would go up. But for the moment, hopefully the filmmaker or whoever gets the national award. But at some point, there is going to be the evolution of that species, and that evolution is going to go up. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Coming to Anand. Anand, my lucky number is 18. And Anand has just completed his 18th title. There's also a song called 18 Till I Die, but we won't get there right now. Anand, the question for you is that you've told stories. Of course, you write books. But I don't think that we should call you a writer, because you've also been powering films and television and stage shows and all formats through your storytelling ability. So in this world of prompts and all the things that you've dabbled with, and your last book talks about AI or uses the AI metaphor, are your creative muscles getting either enabled or disabled through this process? Give us your first-hand take on this story.
Thank you. Actually, I am really excited about AI. The wrong thing to say, many of my other friends will beat me up for this. But I was right from the beginning. The problem with my books, except the Bahubali one, none of them, lot of rights were sold, but none of them had come as films. Now, a lot of people are coming back because my books are all of huge scale. Like my first book, Asura, which told Ravan's point of view, Ramayan, or Ajaya, Duryodhana's point of view, Vanara, which was Bali. Bali's, it had to be taken like Game of Thrones. The book rights were sold for all these things. I got the option money, but after that, that way I'm happy. But after that, nothing happened. Now, with AI, all these things like Sudhir sir said, it is not just Rajamoulis and Bansalis who can do that now. So except for Bahubali, none came out. Now I hope all my 18 books will come out, including the latest one. So that way, as a writer, I am very happy. Answering your question, sir, and this is good for every writer here actually. This is a golden time which is coming. It is nothing to be scared. Is my personal opinion, because this is like any other tool. We have already been using AI for the last 10 decades. You have been using Grammarly, you have been using Grammar Check. This is another one step above that. That's all. And before rambling on, let me just answer to the point. I use AI in writing, but I use it as a sounding board. So what I do usually is, I give a scene and ask it to complete in 10 different ways or 5 different ways. It gives a scene and I ensure that I use none of them. Because what I understood using it is because it tries to please you. So it is giving the answers which 90-95% of the people would love it or like it, or somewhere they have read it. So how will I make my writing unique? This has made it very easy. It gives my scenes, so I ensure that not a single thing is done. I write a scene and I surprise the AI. So the next time it gives, so every scene it gets escalated. And I think I am now producing much more faster and better books. So I have using AI in the last 13 years since I got published. I published 18 novels, 3 in print. Then I did around 1,400, 500 hours of television, 3 films, 500 columns and travelogues, stage plays and audio shows. Now with AI, I think I can increase my output. So that is also what is exciting me.
Fascinating. Okay. I just want to change the conversation just for management. So shotgun or short grid now, for example, from Autodesk has made more money than some of their other tools, because it's just, I need to take that version of that scene and this version of this scene and that version of that scene, and all that data has to be strung to make one sequence or one shot. So how are you looking at this? Are you looking at this primarily as a production aid, or are you looking at that as a creative aid, and where does the man-machine story lie for you?
Both. I mean, the machine is a very good assistant and a really skilled one, a really knowledgeable one. one with a database which is phenomenal. So you can go in all aspects. You could even take post-production, for instance. I can take an edit, and I can sit down with a musician, a rough music. I mean, not so great musician, but a musician and a person, and we can sit together and do a scratch design, right? Which is something which is very lacking in India, for instance. I think Indians can use that. So you have an evolved kind of sound design. You can communicate with the background music, because today nobody knows how to write music.
Correct.
Most of the music directors don't know how to write music.
That's correct.
They go here, dab here, chal Ranjit Barot here, somebody here, and mix together, right? That's what most people are doing, right?
Yeah.
But so I can talk to AI and say, this is what I feel. I want to mix Sufi and for instance, I've done this. Sufi and New Orleans or choir or whatever, church choir, has a similar spiritual base. I want something that's happening like that with these words, right? In a sense, it somehow, so now I'm telling it's not very good. It's not usable. But I can tell a music director, this is what I mean. Now it's for you to coalesce it. I still have to have a music director who understands my script, but it's just I think it aids my communication with my technicians a lot more, you know.
Absolutely.
It aids my assistants, it aids the production systems. It will even aid the cost. Can AI now tell me at every given point, where am I going over budget?
Perfect. Yeah.
It's a perfect tool, you know.
Yeah.
Ping.
Yeah.
You're going wrong.
Yeah.
Right? This is where you need to correct. So I think production systems will correct more. I mean, as it evolves, I think it will open up my imagination. I'm also self-censoring, no?
Correct. Yeah.
In a sense, I know this is not what I can't do, so my mind is not even going in that direction. Buddy, you're an independent filmmaker. Don't cross the Lakshman Rekha. That's another Rekha, right?
That's another one.
That's another one. So, but now there's no Rekha.
Perfect.
Think about it.
Ram, before we come to the other three, because you have now made something which is a short film, and you continue, I assume, to do things in the more linear fashion. So where are you on the pivot between the past and the future?
No, so I want to speak for 2 minutes on something that has been troubling me, which is on colonization, so earlier they came and conquered our land to say quit India. Then they came and conquered our mind with their food and their clothing. And now they're conquering our data. So I was part of a jury on the first AI Film Fest, which happened 2-3 weeks ago. And then they said, what is the advice that you can give us for next year? I said, first, I think that the biggest problem that we're having currently is that if you look at the common crawl of the amount of data that there is, let's say that there are 300 billion web pages, okay? And that means English dominates 45, I'm speaking in English, which also makes me feel bad, but 44% is dominated by English, out of which, let's say if Hindi is spoken by 7.5%, the data that is available, which is Indian, specifically Hindi, is 0.2% data. That means that the stuff that is being given to me by AI currently is a different form of colonization. So my biggest problem right now when I'm using AI is how rooted am I going to be? And as filmmakers, obviously we want to tell stories that are our own stories and rooted in our culture. But I'm finding that I'm not able to actually use AI as Indian as I'd like to. I am using it a lot. There is no option. And I think the question that we're really asking is the prompt engineer the artist of tomorrow?
Absolutely. It's a very well put, and it's a very interesting point to figure out that this is
Tamil is 0.04%, okay, of the data that is available. That means I saw a film called The Humans in the Loop, which is on Netflix, which Aranya was here. He's a director. Please see this movie. It's about, yes, please see it, because it's about a lady in Jharkhand who's a data annotator. and it tells you about the problems of how are we actually, collecting that data. Is it swamping or is it data mining? And currently it's data swamping.
I won't even ask you the percentage in Bhojpuri, but we'll leave that for the next one. Because you mentioned about the cultural aspect of this whole story and the colonization, I'll come to you because you deal with our stories that are distributed to the world. That's what you do. And therefore, how do you see cultural authenticity? If a story has a great cultural authenticity, very centered around India, because you always write for a certain target market, you don't write for the world. And because you have to take this across the world, how do you see all of this changing? Do you see that stories will be influenced by what markets you go to? There are very few Indian stories in film and television that go outside our diaspora, generally speaking. So would you like to talk a little bit about maybe...
they call it knowledge collapse.
They call it?
That's the term, knowledge collapse.
Okay.
Okay, which is when it's a gradual narrowing of information. Because 60% loves pizza, then what will happen is that you will eventually get, what's my favorite food? Pizza.
Right.
So how are you going to get sattu?
So when she takes tandoori roti everywhere, how is she going to basically make sure that she can distribute tandoori roti despite pizza is the question. Thank you for that.
Using AI.
Using AI.
Yeah.
Trust me, we have distributed a lot of tandoori rotis even before AI. So it's been it's prevalent in this market and we've done it very, very successfully.
Script aids, script analysis, the way you write scripts, the 3-act structure is all Western. Where is it Indian? There is some kind of intelligence that is like a virus crept into you, and you are anyway using it.
Even the music, the music beats are becoming more
music.
Western.
Then they say this metronome. So you have to be careful. It's you who have to control it. You are the artist. You are the Indian. I mean, God help us if suddenly somebody says now, like music is dead because the musician is dead. Because you don't have SD Burmans anymore. You don't encourage SD Burmans anymore. Film music is, but if you kill it in that way, and if they say now AI now give me 100 scripts, 100 films, 100 shorts, 100 this, God help us, then you're over, Then the colonization is there.
I think that the indoctrination of stories, the way stories should be told, is something that we have to rebel against. It's something that, because it is coming from an Aristotelian structure, it's not coming from the Natya Shastra, it's not coming from the Rasa theory, it's coming from something which we have all been indoctrinated and in a way handcuffed into. And a lot of this is Western ways of telling stories and not really coming from our ways of telling stories. As it is, the very idea of lip sync songs is going. And so all of this is something that we have to embrace and in fact use AI in a way in which let's see how we can be culturally rooted.
Gitanjali, can we just come to you? You are hearing it from practitioners, right? You are creating tools and tech for practitioners. So how are you seeing that we can do something that can help to preserve what they want to preserve while making sure that, it becomes faster, better, quicker, bolder?
And not Western.
So two very important things.
Write your pitches in Hindi or
absolutely. So I have been with artists for the longest time. I was earlier working as a CEO for Pixion, so I've worked with more than 2,500 artists, and I know that an artist, when he's creating, they think in their native language. Every idea comes in your native language first. Which is why when we built GenVR, the first thing that we built was a multilingual prompting. So you can actually put a prompt in any language on our platform and you will get the same result. You can...
In English, you'll get the result.
You will get a result relevant even if you put in a prompt in Punjabi or anything.
Get a Punjabi output?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You will get a Punjabi output if you want that text, if you want a reference. We, just to answer to your question, we also built an image model called Rupayan, which was completely, built on India data sets. So it created the most beautiful, gorgeous image of Sri Ram it created a culturally relevant Ma Siddhi Datri. Okay, because and this was a times where the other people were giving gods which looked like Greek. So those kind of things, the data sets, the cultural relevance, the emotional relevance, that can be preserved if we build some things or we fine tune certain things according to our cultures, and that can stop westernization. But for that, we also need a lot of support from government. Why there are no image models coming out of India? We are, yes, we are putting a lot of I want to say to everyone that AI is a platform which is built from India for the global world. And I really want artists and creative people to go and consume it. It's my co-founders are from IIT Roorkee. It's an Indian product, and we're very proud of it. GenVR.ai.
We have nothing to say.
ourselves. Here we are. And our voices.
I have a photograph that's also not for sale.
Yeah, exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I would request you all to kindly remain seated. We are straight away moving into the next session, which is a power talk session.
We will take a group photo. Now it's something.
And I would request all our panelists to kindly come together in a group photograph.
Let's get a picture. My hair and makeup. Yeah, ready.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we move to the next session, which is a power talk on scaling local stages, concert economy as India's next creative powerhouse. So, we now tune into a session that celebrates the heartbeat of live entertainment, the stage, the spotlight, and the stage of 1,000 voices in unison.